Hey, would you do me a favor? Grab your phone or smart device and open up that camera. Then point it right here at the QR code. Do you have it? I'll wait a second. When you see the link pop up on your screen, give it a tap. You ready? Boom! Welcome to the Hillsborough County official YouTube channel. We've got all sorts of videos here, all about what makes our community such an awesome place. From local events and community highlights to what's in the perfect Cuban sandwich. We've got it all. We're always adding new things, so while you're here, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you'll never miss a new video. Here's that QR code again, just in case you missed it. Go ahead and check it out. Ooh. This must have fallen out of that video. This really is the perfect Cuban sandwich.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to call to order the Executive Committee meeting for September 15th of 2023 for the County Public Safety Coordinating Council. Ms. Nappy, if we could have a roll call, please.
Ms. Julianne Holt,
Present.
Sheriff Chad Cronister,
Present.
Chief Judge Sabella,
Good morning, Gina Justice for Chief Judge Sabella.
Clerk Cindy Stewart, Judge John Conrad,
Present.
Ms. Susan Lopez,
Renee Marotti for Susan Lopez.
Commissioner Wastel, Chief Lee Burkhaw, Mr. Nick Bates, Mr. Mark Proctor,
I'm here virtually.
and Mr. Rob Parkinson.
Present.
Chair, you have quorum.
Thank you. And just as a reminder, if you're not speaking, if you could mute your microphones so that we don't have the background noise, that would be greatly appreciated. In your packet are the minutes for the April 21st, 2023 meeting. If you would please review those, and if we could have an appropriate motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Ms. Stewart, a second by Mr. Bates. In reviewing the minutes, does anyone see any changes that need to be made or any additions to the minutes? If not, please signify approval of the motion by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you. Show that the motion passed unanimously. We have no old business. We do have under new business agenda items for the November 17th, 2023 meeting. We will have several special presentations that we will handle at the full council meeting for some individuals that have served with us and that hopefully can join us so that we can recognize their service. So I think there'll be about 3 of those. And I think it would be a good idea to have at that time a discussion on the consolidation issue that is being considered. We will have had a meeting here in Tampa that I'll have Ms. Justice update us on here in just a moment, but I think it would be a good conversation for us to have. The report is not due until probably right after our meeting in December, but there will have been at that point significant meetings that have occurred across the state, and I think we'll be in a position to discuss perhaps where we think things might be headed and perhaps make a decision about whether or not the Public Safety Coordinating Council as a whole might want to take a position on that particular issue. Mr. Parkinson, I would ask if you could speak to the chair of the Board of County Commission. I know he's meeting individually with people, but if you would ask him whether or not the board has a position on whether they want the Public Safety Coordinating Council to weigh in on something such as that or not, so that we can get some guidance.
I can take care of that, Ms. Hull.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to add agenda items? Ms. Stewart, can we have a full update for the data sharing for the council? Okay. Any other agenda items? Mr. Parkinson, I know you've given us a list already of matters that we'll be discussing at that time. Ms. Nappy has those, and we will certainly put them on the agenda.
Absolutely. I just want to make sure I addressed all the requests from the May meeting. Would you like me to go over
Yes,
the
sir.
individual presenters? We have HCSO giving updates on their jail vocational and reentry programs, and that will be Major Kawana Brown. We have Department of Corrections reentry program updates from Circuit Administrator Patrick Barentine. We will have an update on the 1800 Orient Road jail step-down and reentry program from our Healthcare Services Department. We will have an update on the ACTS Mental Health Clubhouse Psychosocial Rehab Program from ACTS. And then we will also have a presentation from CareerSource regarding their new ex-offender job certification program.
Okay,
I
thank
think
you.
that's everything that was requested.
Yes. And that will also, Sheriff, just as a reminder, that is going to address basically Mr. Powell's presentation that has been made both here to the council and then also at the meeting that we had at the sheriff's office. And so this will hopefully enlighten the entire council as to all the services that already exist here so that we can make a determination whether or not we feel that there's any gap that perhaps should be addressed. And so that's kind of what the focus point is going to be. So I would ask everyone, number one, we'll have to be timely. Mr. Parkinson has spoken to everyone to try to make sure that they're succinct and to the point in the presentations, because obviously we're always backed up by another meeting that comes in right after us, and I think we'll be able to get everything done that particular day. Does anyone else want to add any other agenda items? If not, Ms. Justice, before we do the clerk's office data sharing agreement update, if you could update the council and the members of the public as to our hosting responsibilities in October.
Yes, I'd be happy to. Thank you, Madam Chair. So just so everybody is aware, what we're talking about is the Judicial Circuit Assessment Committee, which was convened at the request of Representative Brenner and endorsed by Chief Justice Carlos Muniz of the Florida Supreme Court. A committee was convened at the order of the Chief Justice, and a number of meetings have been held via Zoom, and a first public in-person meeting was held in Orlando a few weeks ago. The second and final in-person public hearing, which is also available virtually, will be held at the Edgecombe Courthouse on the 6th floor, Courtroom 1, on October 13th, which is a Friday, beginning at 10 a.m. and concluding at 3. You do have to pre-register to have a speaking role in that event, and I certainly encourage any members of Hillsborough community, whether public, private, elected officials, or interested parties. If you are interested, please see our website at a future date. We are meeting with OSCA representatives today to discuss the planning of that event, but I assure you registration information will be available on the court's website, which is www.fljud13.org, and it will be available soon so that you can pre-register to speak. Speaking opportunities are available in person and virtually. So that's important to mention today, because I do know that sometimes getting to the courthouse, parking and all of that can be difficult for some interested parties. So I certainly encourage participation and observation if interested. Now today there is a meeting of the committee virtually to discuss the survey responses that were recently collected via an assessment tool that was available online. Many parties from the state of Florida did register to participate, and I do want to go to the notion of thanking everybody from the 13th Circuit who was interested in participating in surveys, because they are interested in the outcome of this very important endeavor. Is there anything else that you think I should cover, Madam Chair?
No, ma'am. I think that covers it. This is an extremely important issue for our community. Having served as the public defender for 30 years, I can tell you that one of the things that I've said the entire time is that I believe it has been a tremendous luxury to have served in this particular community, where we have one county, where we have a Board of County Commission, and we have law enforcement agencies, and we have the collaborative relationships that we have. It has made a tremendous difference. I've spoken with all of my colleagues for years and years and years, and I have never had to deal with any of the issues, problems, or concerns that they've ever had in trying to really move their office forward in any fashion whatsoever. Most of you know that our office is on the cutting edge of technology. Many of you know, because of the review of the sheriff's programs and the manner in which the jail facility itself is run. You've seen all the different programs and all the different services that Mr. Parkinson has discussed with us over the years. We have had a tremendous relationship with court administration, who has really supplemented so many of our desires to have diversionary programs and treatment providers and relationships with those providers. It truly is a luxury. It really is. It is something that you really cannot take for granted. And I am very actively involved from the Florida Public Defender Association in this issue, and just talking with my colleagues about the challenges and the differences really in how we run our offices, not because we're philosophically different, but frankly because of the support systems that some of us have in place and some of us do not have in place, some of the relationships that some of us have and the ones that don't have those relationships. And so for me, although I would be retiring before something like this takes effect, I am very invested and very interested in trying to ensure that we maintain the position that we have had throughout my entire tenure. And so anytime I speak to anyone, I urge them. I have an open mind for consolidation, obviously, because that's what we do. But in reviewing everything that I've reviewed over the last several months, I do not see a cost savings to Hillsborough County in any fashion whatsoever through consolidation with any other circuit. Do I think that there are people out there that would benefit from the tremendous relationships that we all have and the collaboration? Of course, I would never deny something such as that, but I would not want to see what we have here in Hillsborough County diminished in any fashion whatsoever, because I do think that we run a very good justice system. Although I'm only involved in the criminal justice, I did practice before in the private sector, so I know everything that we have. I have relationships with the majority of the judges that I know. Obviously, I have a good relationship with our law enforcement agencies. And to think that I could perhaps be in DeSoto County as the public defender. I know that you go through there to get down south, but you know, it's just a tremendous and significant difference in so many ways. And so I would urge people, number one, listen with an open mind, obviously. Educate yourself as it relates to what consolidation would truly mean. Just the technology challenges in and of themselves would be tremendous, as we are about to hear from our clerk about the data sharing. So we all know what it is to work even within our circuit about data sharing and technology and the challenges that we have and how we work together. Imagine if we had to take on 3 or 4 or 5 additional counties in some fashion. So for me, I'm sure that you'll hear me speak in October. You'll have a couple of other public defenders that will be coming. I have been told that the State Attorneys Association was in full force present in Orlando, and they intend to again be present here. And I know that we have a lot of people in the judiciary that have already written letters and have already given their position. And you know, cost savings is something that's kind of being driven as something that we can do, cost savings, but that's only one of the things that's to be considered. The other part of this is that I think that our justice system here in Hillsborough County has the public trust and confidence, which is so critical as it relates to, again, our jurisdiction. And I would hate to see something like that diminished in some fashion. So I would urge you, number one, to listen to everything that's going on. I would urge people to support our hosting of this particular meeting, because I think it's important that they have chosen Tampa. And then I would ask you to, at some point in time, take a position as it relates to this particular issue, because it will impact every single person that lives in this county if a change is made. This is not something that you will not feel. This will be felt by every single person in this community. Anyone else wish to say anything at all? All right, then. Thank you, Ms. Justice, and very happy to know that you will be hosting and looking forward to it. Ms. Stewart, the Clerk's Office Data Sharing Agreement, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm not going to read to you the provided slideshow, but just know we're still working on this. There has been some movement. Our main hurdle that we needed to get past was making sure that us and the IT folks at the Sheriff's Office could actually manage and move forward on and had the manpower, not the brain power or the money, but the manpower to actually put the resources to this project. We have come to an agreement on that. So my team is finalizing an agreement with Presidio to actually start moving this forward. Our next steps are to negotiate some purchase orders and then have a launch meeting with the chiefs and electeds that are part of this data share. Just so everyone is clear, a lot of people use the data share, but it's really our office and the sheriff's office who collect and store and have to be part of that IT solution for it. So really that's what we are. I'll do a more formal presentation for the next meeting, but just so you know, we are moving forward. We did have a little bit of back and forth with the vendor about whether or not we could do everything that we wanted to do. I think we've had to take a step back on some of those things, but I think we're going to be fine where we end up landing. But it is still a big undertaking, and I know that Sheriff Cronister, thank you for sharing your team with my team so that we can continue to move forward on this. So,
Any questions for Ms. Stewart or any comments? Okay. Sheriff, thank you for working with the clerk's office. Obviously, this is something that will benefit all of us that are stakeholders, and so we're certainly looking forward to Phase 2 being implemented and completed before 2024 ends. By the way, Ms. Stewart. Okay.
but we have to spend the funds before 25. So,
Okay, good. Is there any other business to come before the council at all? All right, then, is there any public comment? All right, thank you very much, everybody, for coming today. Mr. Proctor, thank you for attending virtually for us. Everyone have a very good and safe holiday weekend and holidays that are coming up, and see you all in December. Thank you. Thank you.